Hey everyone, welcome to the Reverse 1999 tier list. In today's video, we're going to break down the best characters you should focus on as you journey through the early, mid, and late game stages. Whether you're a new player trying to figure out who to invest your resources in, or a seasoned veteran looking to tweak your team for that endgame content, we've got you covered. Now, of course, if you're like me and just love building your favorite characters no matter their rank, that's totally fine too. Play how you want to play. But for those of you who want to optimize your team and stay on top of the meta, this tier list will be your go-to guide. We'll be diving deep into the strengths, weaknesses, and overall performance of each character, giving you a solid idea of who shines and who maybe needs a little extra love. Whether you're building for PvP, PvE, or just trying to breeze through those tricky boss fights, we've done the research so you don't have to. So grab your notepad, get comfy, and let's jump into the ultimate Reverse 1999 character tier list. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking characters in Reverse 1999. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Matilda, Mondlicht, Rabies, Apple, Bunny Bunny, Onion, Ali&T, Door, Mesmer Jr., Ms. Radio, Sputnik, TTT, and Poltergeist. Alright, let's dive into some of the more interesting characters in Reverse 1999, specifically the D tier crowd. These characters may not be top tier, but they each have their quirks that make them worth discussing. First up, we have Matilda. Now, she's a crit-oriented character who has potential but requires a bit too much setup to shine. She really needs her Ingenious Etude skill at level 2 to get going. In the early game, she can dish out some decent damage, but as you progress, her passives don't add much, and her crit technique just doesn't stack up against other crit-based characters. Still, if you're feeling adventurous, you can experiment with her as a sub DPS or support, especially since she can apply confusion. Just be prepared for a bit of a challenge. Next is Mondlicht, our 4-star damage dealer who's all about that mass damage. Her skills are straightforward but effective. She hits harder when target's HP is in specific ranges. The cool part, her Insight 1 gives her a skill that reduces the enemy's reality DEF, which can benefit the entire team. So, if you need an affordable DPS option, she's your gal, even if she's not the most versatile. Now, let's talk about Rabies. This character has a fun aesthetic, but unfortunately, he doesn't bring much to the table besides poison and some damage increases. As a low rarity DPS, he falls off pretty quickly in the late game. He's basically a budget option for poison teams, and while he can provide some early game damage, he just lacks the utility that you'd want from a character. Then we have Apiel, the first free character you encounter in the game. Apiel strikes a balance between healing and damage, which makes him pretty versatile. His main healing skill targets the ally with the lowest HP, and while he deals some damage, his healing isn't as robust as dedicated healers. But hey, if you ascend him early, he can provide some decent passive healing, so he definitely has his uses in a mixed team. Moving on to Bunny Bunny, who brings some fun to the sub DPS role. With her ability to inflict critical resist and buff her own critical stats, she can work well with crit-focused allies. Her ultimate not only heals but also purifies negative status effects. However, her debuff, Nasty Wound, is pretty niche, only shining in rare scenarios where enemies heal. Still, if you like to play around with crit builds, she might just fit into your strategy. Onion is up next, another 3-star character that claims to be both a DPS and debuffer. The sad truth is that her damage won't hold up in the late game. She shares some similarities with Leilani but lacks the versatility to keep pace. While she can dish out decent damage when targets are under certain debuffs, her kit just doesn't synergize well enough to be reliable. And how can we forget Ali&T? This UFO character is all about taking damage for the team. With his taunt and damage reduction skills, he can soak up hits, but his damage output is pretty lackluster for a 3-star. His utility lies mostly in his ability to disarm enemies with his ultimate. While he can be a good wall, you'll find better 3-star options that provide more overall team support. Finally, we have Dor, a unique character whose true role is to literally die. Yes, you heard that right. His skills are pretty basic damage dealers, but his ultimate provides significant buffs to the team. When he falls, he grants Moxie to his allies, making his death a strategic play. If you plan it right, you can even use him twice with a character like Necrologist to maximize those buffs. Talk about a twist on the typical gameplay. So there you have it. The D-tier characters in Reverse 1999 may not be the most powerful, but each has its own charm and potential for creative strategies. Whether you want to experiment or just have a bit of fun, they might just surprise you. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Eagle, Pavia, Click, Pioneer, Bet, Diggers, Eric, John Titor, Nick Bottom, Oliver Fogg, Ulu, Winter, Cristallo, Miss Moisson, and The Fool. Eagle is a straightforward crit-oriented character available after completing stage 1, 12. She thrives with a debuffer on the team, enhancing her first skill, Old Pocket Watch. Her passive inflicts sense weakness on the enemy with the highest attack, reducing its reality, DEF, and crit DEF by 20%. While she's easy to build and has high critical damage potential, reaching 100% crit rate at Portrait level 4, she's quite squishy. Pair her with a defensive character for better survivability. Often likened to a budget Eternity, Pavia benefits from self-sustain and the death of allies, gaining damage, critical rate, and damage resistance as they fall. Both of his skills are mass attacks, offering strategic burst damage depending on his HP. His ultimate, Nosier Than Me, delivers high single target damage while providing self-healing based on HP lost. Ideal for players who enjoy a risky playstyle. Click serves as a debuff and survivability character, excelling in specific conditions. His skill, Spectator, inflicts Blind, reducing damage from single target attacks, while Witness lowers an opponent's Moxie. His Lens Cap status reduces reality DMG by 50%, benefiting allies when applied through his ultimate. Although niche compared to other survivability characters, he remains effective against single-target reality DMG enemies. Pioneer is a 3-star character from the Spirit Afflatus who deals mental damage as a sub-DPS. Unique in his ability to change positions, he gains different buffs based on his location. His ultimate allows him to switch places with an ally, granting them a corresponding buff. Pioneer's kit supports flexible gameplay, letting him adapt between damage dealing and tanking. Bet, a 3-star mineral arcanist, focuses on buffing a single ally. Her skills provide solid reality and mental DF buffs while reducing damage taken. Her ultimate, Every Audition, applies a shield and grants Empower Incantation 2, enabling her to give Moxie to other allies. While her single-target nature limits her overall team utility, she excels when paired with Eternity, enhancing her survivability and ultimate cycling. As a 5-star plant debuffer, Diggers balances offensive and defensive debuffs. His skill Bubblism reduces reality and mental DEF while inflicting terror, hindering enemy ultimate generation. He can also apply layers of weakness to reduce enemy damage. Although less potent than some specialized units, his universal DEF debuff offers flexibility in team compositions. A 4-star Arcanist, Eric supports crit-focused teams with valuable debuffs. Her skill Heavy Axe inflicts crit resist and crit DEF debuffs, while her ultimate dispels positive effects from enemies and provides shields to allies. She's an excellent early game option for boosting crit chances and disrupting enemy buffs. John Titor is a support character with a strong ultimate that mass dispels positive effects from enemies and negative effects from allies while granting shields. Her self-healing ability allows her to sustain during fights, but she primarily relies on her ultimate for impact. Although she doesn't contribute much outside of this, her versatility in mixed teams is a plus. Nick Bottom offers defensive support by boosting reality and mental DF and reducing damage taken. His ultimate can purify statuses from an ally while gaining a shield from the damage taken, allowing him to adopt a sacrifice strategy. His survival may disrupt setups due to his low health, but he remains useful even if not sacrificed. Oliver Fogg is a 4-star survivability unit providing team-wide buffs. His mass buff skill increases DEF and mental DEF, while his passive offers self-healing. His ultimate is a single target attack that boosts penetration rate, making him a solid choice for sustaining team longevity. A 5-star support focused on aiding Spaffadea, Ulu inflicts Burn and provides decent buffs through her ultimate. However, her damage skill is underwhelming and her overall kit relies heavily on synergy with Spaffordea. She struggles to consistently apply enough burn for optimal effectiveness, making her less impressive compared to other supports. Winter offers buffs and crowd control through his skills. His first skill can switch between damage and debuffing, while his second skill benefits all allies. His ultimate inflicts seal on a main target, emphasizing control. While he provides utility, his passive playstyle may not appeal to those who prefer aggressive tactics. Kristallo is a low-rarity survival character with strong team utility. Her skills reduce damage taken and provide defensive buffs while also inflicting nasty wound to reduce enemy healing. Her ability to heal allies and debuff enemies makes her a valuable support in damage-oriented teams. Miss Moisson is a defensive character focused on team support. While her basic attack dispels counters, her mass buff skill grants shields, and her ultimate provides freeze on a single target. This combination of defensive capabilities makes her a solid choice for protecting allies and controlling the battlefield. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Eternity, Satsuki, Sweetheart, Horopedia, Kanjira, Leilani, Baby Blue, Darlie Clatter, Sonetto, Twin Sleep, X, Dicky, LaSource, and Miss New Babel. Let's dive into the B tier characters of Reverse 1999. First up, we have Eternity, a hard-to-kill DPS that packs quite the punch. Her skills, especially the insight passives, give her incredible sustainability. With Blood of Longevity and her ultimate, she's like that friend who always shows up with snacks at a party, just when you need her. Unlocking Blood of Longevity at Insight 1 means she can shrug off nasty effects like Bleed, Corrode, and Poison. Plus, her ultimate shines when she's solo, making her a one-woman army. Just remember, she'll need a healer in team play to keep her in the game. Next, let's chat about Satsuki. This sub-DPS is all about crowd control, especially with her ability to petrify. She shines when paired with a mental DMG team, and her best buddy is definitely Druvis III. Her skill Handcuffed Thief lays down the groundwork for petrify, but it requires a bit of strategy. You'll want to hold on to that level 1 version until you're ready to upgrade. And her ultimate, Walk Down the Sakura, is not just a damage dealer, it's also a crowd control masterpiece. Keeping track of her rigidity stacks can really turn the tide in battle. Now, let's talk about Sweetheart. This damage dealer really needs some love. Well, debuffs to be exact. While she can inflict her own debuffs, pairing her with a dedicated support character is highly recommended to maximize her damage output. Her passive to inflict Enchanted might sound great, but it's only a 10% damage reduction. Think of her gameplay like setting up the perfect cocktail. Mix in those negative statuses first, then hit hard with her skills. A reality DMG team is where she really shines, but she needs a solid plan to pull it off. Moving on, we have Horopedia, the mental DMG dealer and support who might surprise you. At first glance, his damage might seem low, but once you get him to Insight 3, he transforms into a formidable force. His skill logic dictates dispels enemy buffs, which is super handy against those pesky enemies that love to buff up. And don't sleep on his ultimate Twins play, which can increase the entire team's mental DMG. He's a great fit in most mental teams, especially when you're up against enemies with annoying buffs. Let's not forget Kanjira, the poison utility character. She's a bit tricky to use thanks to her divination mechanic, but once you get the hang of it, she's a blast. Each turn, her passive rotates, giving her different boosts that enhance her skills. Think of her as a puzzle. You need to plan ahead to maximize her potential. Her ability to apply poison consistently makes her a great addition to any poison team, especially with Jessica. Just remember to pay attention to her passive states. Timing is everything. Next up is Leilani, a character with a unique Moxie mechanic. She provides Moxie to allies when she enters battle, which can be a game changer. Her skill, a greeting, does bonus damage to enemies under negative statuses, making her a solid choice when paired with debuffers. Whether you're going for sacrificial strategies or keeping her as a substitute, she can turn the tides of battle. Her average damage might not steal the spotlight, but her support capabilities are top-notch. Let's switch gears to Baby Blue, who's a fantastic support for mental DMG teams. With her skills, she can reduce enemy mental DF and increase damage taken by enemies. Her ultimate, Tea with Friends, is especially powerful. It can prevent targets from acting if they're already under a status debuff. However, keep an eye on the requirements for her ultimate to shine. She's a bit greedy when it comes to skill usage, but when played right, she can make a huge difference. Last but not least, we have Darlie Clatter. He's trying to juggle healing and damage, but he doesn't quite hit the mark. His skills are decent, with a mass buff from his ultimate that can help the team, but there are definitely better healers out there. Still, he's got potential for low rarity investments. Whether you choose to stick with him or look for alternatives, just remember, it's all about finding the right balance in your team composition. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Jessica, Carla Bauner, Melania, 37, Druvis III, Regulus, Anon Lee, Avgust, Ezra Theodore, Necrologist, Semmelweis, Medicine Pocket, A Knight, Blonny, Centurion, Charlie, Lilia, Shemaine, Tennant, Bacorn Bloom, Desert Flannel, Pickles, Voyager, Balloon Party, Barbara, and Sotheby. Alright folks, let's dive into the A-tier characters of Reverse 1999. We've got some real powerhouses here, starting with Jessica. This 6-star carry from the plant Afflatus is all about that sweet poison debuff. Picture this. Every stack of poison on her target boosts the damage of her white blankie attack, making it a total game changer. At just 3 stacks, her damage hits near ultimate levels, which is pretty insane. But hey, Jessica needs a little help to truly shine. Pairing her up with allies like Sotheby or Kynjira ensures she can keep those poison stacks flowing and maximize her damage output. Next up, we have Carla Bauner, another 6-star carry, but this time she's representing the mineral Afflatus. If you love numbers, and who doesn't, Carla is your gal. With her Enchanted Strike, she stacks up Saturn buffs that give her penetration rate, while Mythical Meteors boosts her leech rate with Mars. Her ultimate perfection is a sight to behold as it consumes all those stacks for a massive damage boost. However, beware, she's pretty AP greedy, so you'll want to pair her with supportive teammates who can keep the action flowing. Now, let's chat about Melania. This character is super unique because she can literally steal Moxie from her enemies. How cool is that? You can play her as a sub DPS for those quick battles or unleash her full power for devastating burst DMG. Her silent takedown is the perfect way to disrupt enemies while racking up Moxie for herself. And if you can get her Clockwork Rat skill going, you're looking at some serious damage potential without sacrificing her HP. It's all about careful planning with Melania. She's like the chess master of the battlefield. Moving on, we have 37, a supportive carry who's got some tricks up her sleeve. She gains Eureka stacks to unleash her mass attack, Supplementary Formula, which deals impressive damage while also dishing out Genesis DMG. But here's the catch. She needs allies who can follow up with attacks to really maximize her performance. Her ultimate, Kingdom of Geometry, is a game changer, buffing your whole team while boosting her own damage for that sweet synergy. And let's be real, who doesn't love a character that supports their squad while still packing a punch? Last but definitely not least, we have Druvis III. This Arcanist is all about controlling the battlefield with her ability to inflict Petrify, making her a crucial asset in any team. While her damage might not be off the charts, her ability to lock down opponents is invaluable. Pairing her with other characters who can provide buffs is essential to make the most of her potential. Druvis III is perfect for those who love a blend of damage and control, bringing both utility and strategy to your team. Anon Lee, a versatile support who's basically the life of the party. You'll want to master her unique flow, switching between her 2 modes, Break Time and Exorcism Time. During break time, she's all about applying buffs and reducing damage, which is perfect for your team. Then, when she switches to Exorcism Time, she's dishing out some serious damage and even upgrading her rightmost card. And don't forget about her ultimate. It's like a surprise party for her cards, ready to unleash high bursts of damage just when you need it. Next, we have Avgust. Now, Avgust is a bit of a jack of all trades. He provides significant buffs to allies in front of him, while reducing damage taken for those behind him. It's a great strategy to position your healer right behind him. His skill, Greetings, not only buffs damage, but can also dispel pesky status effects. While his ultimate doesn't have the flashiest numbers, it still helps keep the morale up and can be pretty handy in the right situations. If you need someone who can fit into any team composition, Avgust might just be your guy. Moving on, let's talk about Ezra Theodore. Ezra is a bit more complex, but totally worth the effort. His kit revolves around planting mushrooms that can provide shields and valuable buffs, but he does lose some health while doing it. Kind of a risky move, right? His ultimate is where he really shines, offering massive buffs while maximizing mushroom growth. If you can master his mechanics, he'll turn into a sustained powerhouse that keeps your team rolling in critical hits and moxie. Now, let's shine a light on Necrologist. This character is like your team's guardian angel, keeping everyone alive while boosting their damage output. Her ultimate, Whispers of the Deceased, is a game changer, granting a powerful buff called Prayer. If any ally is about to go down, she'll save them with a heal instead. The only downside is her reliance on AP, so you'll need to pair her with units that can help her take action more frequently. Team her up with characters like Anon Lee for a combo that can make your team almost immortal. Finally, we have the intriguing Semmelweis. This 6-star character plays like a vampire who thrives on sacrificing her own HP for the greater good. Her buffs are incredibly potent, giving allies serious damage boosts while creating an array that enhances their resilience. The way she balances self-damage and team support is just brilliant. If you like the idea of a straightforward yet impactful character who can dish out some serious buffs, Semmelweis might be the perfect fit for your team. A knight is a unique damage dealer who excels with his spirit Afflatus, though the rarity of intellect-type enemies means he often misses the plus 30% DMG bonus most damage dealers enjoy. Equipping him with the Balance Please Psycube can offset this disadvantage. His mechanics allow for quick moxie gain, particularly when finishing off enemies with Justice or using his skill Glory at level 2 or higher. A knight supports a good ultimate cycle, granting plus 50% DMG bonus to allies, making him a valuable team member. Blonnie challenges the traditional carry playstyle, using her ultimate to set up her burst window. Gaining enough moxie for her ultimate and upgrading her cards requires luck and can lead to wasted turns, making her AP hungry. However, if managed well, she can unleash multiple burst windows in succession. As a sub-DPS/crit support, her skill Chainsaw Massacre can inflict confusion at rank 2 or higher, allowing her to finish off low HP enemies effectively. Centurion is a powerhouse suited for both waves of enemies and single target focus. Her passive Hot Sauce Expert boosts her DMG per Moxie, and her Outdoor Superstar skill helps her gain Moxie rapidly. Depending on the situation, she can focus on multi-target damage with Outdoor Expert or single-target damage with Victorious General, allowing for flexible playstyles. Though she may struggle against newer characters, she remains a self-sustaining sub-DPS capable of inflicting weakness. Charlie serves as an alternative for star teams that don't rely on critical hits. Her skill, Tempest to Thee, gains a DMG bonus when her HP is below 50%, improving at Portrait level 3 to trigger at 80%. At P5, her ultimate becomes a powerful mass attack, dealing 500% mental DMG and dispelling enemy buffs. Pairing Charlie with debuffers enhances her performance, while managing her health is crucial for maximizing her damage output. Lilia is straightforward but effective, relying on critical rate to enhance her performance. Once reaching Insight 2, her passive and growth bonuses kick in, allowing her to shine. To maximize her potential, allies who can reduce enemy critical resistance are essential. Her skill, Crosswind Takeoff, not only offers high damage but provides an extra action, which can be game-changing. Notably, Lilia doesn't convert extra critical rate into critical damage, so planning her build is key. As a 6-star support of the beast Afflatus, Shemaine is an adaptable character with strong debuffs and decent damage. His ability to inflict both reality mental DF allows for versatile team building. By stacking his Nature's Blessing buff, he can refund Moxie with his ultimate Edict of Atman. Despite his powerful kit, Shemaine requires portraits to maximize his carry potential, but remains a top-tier support due to his versatility. Tennant is highly versatile, serving as a shield, debuff, and DPS unit. Her mass buff skill, a Bouquet of Galaxy, enhances team survivability with shields and damage reduction. Her ultimate reduces enemy reality death, enabling higher damage from allies. With insight upgrades, she gains additional advantages, allowing her to cast skills for free when health is low. Tennant excels in reality damage-focused teams, making her a valuable asset. Bakornbloom is an aggressive support who can rival top damage dealers. Her kit revolves around maintaining negative statuses on enemies while dealing significant damage. Her ultimate, Uninvited Reviewer, is a high-damage single-target attack that can also apply Seal. Timing her ultimate is crucial, as it can block enemy ultimates or serve as a powerful damage tool, depending on her role in the team. Desert Flannel is a 5-star support best utilized in mono beast teams. Her ultimate, Beep Plappy, provides mass healing and damage boosts. With Insight 3, she gains Moxie for each beast ally, allowing her to access her ultimate quickly. Her skills boost her own and her allies' damage, making her an effective support character, especially for Beast Afflatus teams. Pickles is one of the most versatile characters, balancing utility and damage output. His passive, Proposition, allows him to build up his next skill and ultimate every other round. His ultimate, Thus Spoke Pickles, boosts allies' damage while dealing single target damage. He's highly AP generous, with skills that can dispel enemy buffs, making him a valuable addition to any team. Voyager is an aggressive support ideal for critical teams. She applies counter and sturdiness to allies, bolstering squishy DMG dealers. Her skill, Starlight Sonata, can inflict confusion, benefiting her ultimate damage. Though she can be AP greedy, her stacks of negative statuses can be pivotal, making strategic play essential. Balloon Party excels as a healer and survival support, providing damage reduction and decent damage output. Her balloons offer permanent benefits as her insights are raised, enhancing team survivability. With healing that scales based on health lost and counters that can stack, she's a highly effective and self-sustaining unit. Barbara is a 5-star Spirit Afflatus character who boosts team survivability and provides mental DMG support. Her ultimate allows her to generate Moxie passively and modify allies' incantations, making her an AP positive unit that enhances incantation-focused allies. She works exceptionally well with AP hungry mental DPS characters. Sotheby features a unique healing and damage over time kit. Her skills can inflict poison and provide cure, accumulating over time. While she may start weak, her ultimate can trigger all stacks of poison and cure for a significant effect. Effective team management is key for her success, and she synergizes well with characters that benefit from negative statuses. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Junyangzi, Marcus, Spaphadia, Argus, Jay, Tuesday, Six, Getian, Lorelei, Mercuria, and Yenisei. Junyangzi is a 6-star arcanist of the mineral Afflatus, known as the first true limited character. Her primary abilities focus on consistent attacks and high damage output. Her first incantation, Bottoms Up, deals damage with a follow-up attack that varies based on the number of liquor stacks consumed. Her second skill, Baiju Ladle, introduces a channel effect, granting her liquor and cheers, while applying Drunk, which allows her to automatically cast Bottoms Up at the end of the round if still in channel. Her ultimate, Baiju and Mayhem, is a mass attack that deals more damage with fewer enemies present, and can hit through Reality DF if she has over 6 liquor stacks. Marcus is a 6-star character from the plant Afflatus, specializing in mental damage. Her mechanics revolve around the Annotate mechanic, which allows her to inflict debuffs on enemies. If an enemy has Annotate, she deals extra damage to them. She gains Eureka stacks through actions and her ultimate, enhancing her incantations. Her skills include a mass attack, ultimate, Next Chapter, that deals significant damage, especially to enemies with Annotate. Marcus is particularly effective in raids and synergizes well with other plant, spirit, and intellect arcanists. Spaphadia is a 6-star carry from the beast Afflatus, focusing on single target burst damage. Her kit includes skills that stack, Preignition and Exhilaration, enhancing her crit rate and burn damage. Her ultimate, Flame Within the Fire, significantly increases crit DMG against targets with over 15 stacks of burn. While her overall damage per turn may seem lower, her burst potential with crits makes her a powerful damage dealer. Argus is a 6-star sub-DPS from the plant Afflatus, dealing reality damage. She excels in single target damage, applying the pinpointed debuff, which lowers damage reduction and crit DEF. She synergizes well with characters that benefit from high-ranking incantations, using her skills to strengthen pinpointed and deal high damage through her actions. Jay is a 6-star sub-DPS from the beast Afflatus who focuses on shields and counterattacks. He counterattacks enemies when allies with his shield are hit, applying burn and enhancing his damage and shield efficiency when his HP is low. He has strong synergy with defensive strategies. Tuesday is a 6-star sub-DPS from the Spirit Afflatus and a specialist in poison. She transforms poison into upfront damage and grants crit potential to all allied poison damage. Her ultimate creates an array that preserves poison stacks, making her an effective team enabler for poison characters. At first glance, the 6th of May appear to have low damage, but his ability to provide numerous buffs and debuffs proves valuable. His mechanics include collection of debuffs and collection of buffs, allowing him to weaken enemies and strengthen allies. His ultimate applies multiple debuffs to enemies and grants buffs to allies, making him a strong enabler. Getian is a 6-star reality support from the beast Afflatus, utilizing the array mechanic to buff allies. His ultimate places the array, a prophecy told, granting damage bonuses and debuffing enemies. He excels at providing consistent buffs and managing battlefield effects. Lorelei is a 5-star support character from the star Afflatus, providing flexible and high-value buffs. Her skills grant critical damage and damage reduction, while her ultimate can enhance damage based on the types of incantations in play. She is user-friendly and fits well in crit teams. Mercuria is a 6-star support from the spirit Afflatus, providing buffs based on ally incantation ranks. Her ultimate offers rank adjustment, enhancing incantation effectiveness. Yenisei is a 5-star defensive character from the star Afflatus, excelling as both a healer and a shielder. Her skills provide healing and damage reduction, while her ultimate offers a mass shield buff with immunity to various negative statuses. She is highly effective at keeping her team alive. Alright, let's dive into the wild world of Reverse 1999. We've got some serious contenders here, so buckle up as we explore these top-tier characters. First up, we have Lucy. Now, if you're looking for a straightforward damage dealer, Lucy is your girl. Honestly, it's almost hilarious how simple she is. While you're busy asking how to play her, she's already off taking out enemies left and right. Just hit those buttons and watch the chaos unfold. With her conservation of energy ability, she shines in multi-wave stages or raids, especially against mobs like Gorgon or Gold. What's cool is that once upgraded, her skills can bypass dodge mechanics, making her a beast in tricky fights. Plus, she can power up other Arcanists who thrive on quick Moxie gains. All in all, Lucy's here to steamroll everything in her path. Then we've got Winsong, a real powerhouse of burst damage. As a 6-star Arcanist, her Rehabilitation Incantation is the name of the game. It builds up to unleash a torrent of damage with her ultimate long journey. What's wild is that she can generate stacks of Eureka, which not only boosts her damage, but also increases her crit rate. If you're into crit-heavy builds, Winsong will make you feel like a god. She can create an explosive chain reaction that devastates enemies while buffing herself. The combination of strategy and raw power? Chef's kiss. Now, let's talk about Isolde, the debuffing support queen. As a 6-star Arcanist from the spirit Afflatus, she focuses on inflicting burn on her enemies. With her Prelude state, she provides stacks of pre-ignition to allies, allowing them to apply burn. Once the enemy hits 15 heat, she enters Interlude, which is where things get really interesting. Her ultimate, Choking on Blood, can hit multiple targets and grant powerful buffs to allies. Plus, her skills are just so satisfying to use. There's nothing quite like watching enemies get scorched. Next up is Kikania, who's all about protecting her teammates while dishing out some solid damage. As a 6-star character from the plant Afflatus, she has the unique ability to take hits for allies, which is a lifesaver. Her ultimate unleashes all the damage she absorbs in a round, making for some thrilling burst potential. If you're looking for someone to beef up your team's survivability while still packing a punch, Kikania is the one to go for. And how can we forget the adorable Tooth Fairy? This 6-star healer from the star Afflatus specializes in crit support. Her skills revolve around enhancing crit rates and dealing with debuffs. With her Lullaby ability and Song for the Bad Tooth ultimate, she can heal and cleanse allies of nasty effects. Sure, she's a bit squishy and might struggle against high damage foes, but when she works, she works. Just make sure you pair her with characters that appreciate those crit boosts. Now, let's wrap it up with Veela, the ultimate support character. This 6-star Arcanist is all about enhancing her teammates without dealing damage herself. Veela's skills focus on buffing allies and providing critical support. Her ultimate dispels negative effects and grants her allies the crucial Rusalka status, which boosts her other skills. With abilities that grant healing and moxie, she's a fantastic addition to any team, especially for those crit-based setups. She might not attack, but trust me, she's got your back in every fight. So there you have it, folks. Whether you're looking for raw damage, supportive buffs, or clever debuffs, Reverse 1999 has a character for every playstyle. Each of these characters brings something unique to the table, making your strategy all the more exciting. Get ready to unleash some chaos with these amazing picks. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.